The minor attack was from Spain, over Gibraltar to Spain, and then southern France where it was halted. But the major attack was not this side. The major attack was through the Caucasus Mountains, the pass between two mountain ranges. And as that Muslim army launched its attack at Europe, that army was finally halted and defeated by an impenetrable, irresistible force. Could not defeat it. Who were they? A people who had emerged from precisely that area where Zulkarnain went, the pass between two mountains. A people who have come to be known in history as the Khazar tribes. K-H-A-Z-A-R. It is these people who have displayed that irresistible power. And so when Gog and Magog are released, they are not released in Western Europe. They are released in Eastern Europe. It is these people who become Jews. The European Jew has come from the Khazar tribes. And so now we are able to locate the first manifestation of Gog and Magog. It is not in the whole of Europe. It is here in the Jewish part of Europe. When Gog and Magog are released, the first of them will pass by the Sea of Galilee and start to drink the water. And by the time the last of them pass, they'll say, there used to be water here. Who is drinking the water? Who is drinking the water? How low is the water now? Do you know? The water level in the Sea of Galilee is now lower than it has ever been in all of recorded history. It is so low that very soon you will not be able to drink that water anymore. That's how low it is. Who has been drinking that water? Locate the one who is drinking the water, you located Gog and Magog. Is it Egypt? No. Egypt is not using that water. Is it Lebanon? Is it Syria? No. Is it Saudi Arabia? No. It is Israel. Israel is the one that is consuming all the water from the Sea of Galilee. And so Gog and Magog have to be located in Israel now. Who in Israel is responsible for the drinking of the water? This massive consumption of water. Before we can identify who is responsible, we have to ask, who is using that water? Where is the water being used? And the answer, it is not in agriculture as much as it is in industry. The industrial economy is the major consumer of water. And secondly, the policy of making the deserts green. If you want to make a desert green, you better have a lot of water. Now, who is responsible for the industrial economy in Egypt, in Israel? Who is responsible for the policy of making the deserts green? The answer is the government of Israel. Who are the government of Israel? The answer is the European Jew, not Banu Israel. Banu Israel will be those Jews who were in Yemen, and in Iraq, and in Egypt, and in Morocco, who have a racial affinity with the Arabs. Banu Israel would not be European Jews. And so now it is plain and clear from this hadith that as they pass by the Sea of Galilee, they drink the water, that Gog and Magog are essentially located originally amongst the European Jews of the Khazar tribe. There's a very interesting book that I like to recommend to you to read. It's called The 13th Tribe. The 13th Tribe. It's on the internet. You can read the whole thing on the internet. Maybe perhaps use www.13tribe.com. You might find it. Okay. Having identified Gog and Magog, we are now able to understand that it is Europe which was responsible for bringing the Jews back to the Holy Land. But it is a Europe that is the civilization of Gog and Magog. You cannot defeat that civilization. It is a civilization which is constantly expanding, creating carbon copies of itself all around the world. So you have Chinese Gog and Magog now. You have Japanese Gog and Magog now. You have Pakistani Gog, plenty Pakistani Gog and Magog now. You got African Gogs and Magog now. Wherever in the world power now exists, power is now in the hands of the children of Gog and Magog. Around the world. Anytime power is in the hands of those who have righteousness and faith, they will be destroyed. They will not be allowed to keep power. You cannot be a man of faith, and you cannot be righteous in your conduct, and still maintain power in the world. When Gog and Magog are released, they'll sweep you away. And so you cannot establish Islam as state. When you see the Jews brought back to the Holy Land, remember it is impossible for anyone to establish Islam as a state, as government, on the face of the earth. You'll be destroyed. You can establish Islam in the periphery, but not in the center. And that Islam will be tolerated so long as it does not threaten the center. When Gog and Magog are released, and the Jews are brought back to the Holy Land, then the awesome drama is now before your eyes. That drama is that the world will give the appearance as though this is the end of history. That there is nothing that could possibly replace those who now control the world. Arnold Toynbee, when he wrote Civilization on Trial in the 1940s, I think, Arnold Toynbee came to that conclusion, that Western civilization has come to stay. All previous civilizations are now footnotes of history, including Islamic civilization. They're now moribund. And there is nothing to say, nothing that can come to replace Western civilization to rule over the world. That was his conclusion. Some 50, 60 years later, Francis Fukuyama wrote The End of History. And Fukuyama came to the same conclusion. The reason is because this is Gog and Magog, and there's nothing which can destroy them. But will they last forever? Will those who control the world today continue to control the world forever? The answer is located in the events which we will now describe in greater detail than we could do last night. We spoke yesterday about Dajjal, that he has to deceive the Jews into believing that he is the true Messiah, when in fact he's a false Messiah. So he has to impersonate the Messiah. Let me do this very rapidly for you now. Since the true Messiah has to rule the world from Jerusalem, the false Messiah has to do the same thing. In order for him to rule the world from Jerusalem, the false Messiah will, number one, have to liberate the Holy Land. That was done in 1990. Already accomplished. Number two, the false Messiah will have to bring the Jews back to the Holy Land. That has already been accomplished. Gog and Magog did that between 1919 and 1948. Number three, the false Messiah will have to establish a state of Israel in the Holy Land and get the Jews to be convinced that this is the Israel of David and of Solomon. May Allah's blessing be upon them both. This has already been accomplished in 1948. The false Messiah will have to get that state of Israel to become the ruling state of the world, and that's why you had September the 11th.